Hi, my name is Julia Gambron, and this is a poem by Langston Hughes, an American poet, writer, playwright, and journalist who lived in the first half of the 20th century. The poem is I Too. I too sing, America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh, and eat well, and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen, then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am, and be ashamed. I too am America. So we can see some keywords, some important words that are relevant to the understanding of the poem. For example, we see darker brother, which refers to the fact that the author is a person of color. From this, we understand that the poem is about racism, seen through the eyes of a victim. Then we see de. This word makes us realize that the author wants rights, wants to take a polite revenge on those who discriminated him in the past. But we also see that the stanza begins with tomorrow. So the poet knows that it's not an immediate thing. He has to wait to see the scenario happen. Then there is the word ashamed. It reminds us of the concept of polite revenge that we were referring to before. The author doesn't want to hurt those who once hurt him. He just wants them to think about their actions and to realize that they were wrong. We can see that the way the poem is written is also particular. The first and the last verses are really similar, both in the words used and in the meaning. They both refer to being part of America, since dark-skinned people were considered Americans in that period. Then we see that every stanza is composed by a different number of verses. For example, this one is composed by 6 verses. This one is composed by 7 verses. This one is composed by 3 verses, and the last and the first one are composed by just 1 verse. Capitalization is traditional, and the use of punctuation is well distributed, so that the reader knows when to pause, in order to have the time to think about the concepts that are given. Regarding that poetic voice, we know that the narrator talks about himself, to give the feeling of a personal experience, and talks about them, to clarify that there are other people involved. For example, I am, I laugh, I'll be, but also they sense and they'll see. There is no rhyme scheme. In fact, none of the verses rhyme. But there are some repetitions. We can clearly see that the phrase "when company comes" is repeated in both the second and the third stanza. Then we notice that the repetition of the sounds E, S, and N. So, knowing that Langston Hughes lived during a time where racial segregation was common and not at all peaceful, we can fully understand this poem. It's a protest, but it doesn't involve any parade or fight. It's simply made of words, words that have an impressive effect on those who read them. Could you imagine being discriminated just for the color of your skin, or for any particular feature that you have? It's absurd.